Let's start with the most frustrating thing at first with this game, and that's the car. Sometimes you'll find that your car doesn't start. More than likely it's because you're not holding the trigger in when you go to turn the key. So keep the trigger held in, turn the key, and it will start up. And that's caught me out several times in this game. Remember, you don't actually have to drive to the pawn shop or to your hideout, which is the garage. Just select it on the map when you're in the car and it will take you there automatically. The other thing that's caught me out with the car is not being able to get out and open the door. If you do get stuck in your car, make sure you reach for the handle and squeeze the inner trigger first and then the main trigger. The controls for driving the car are really sensitive and it's a bit twitchy, but I found that a technique that works well is to move your hands physically closer to your body when you're using the controllers. This way the steering wheel is less sensitive and it's much easier to steer. And there's a similar principle here for lock picking, which we'll look at in a minute. And remember, you can use your car boot to store larger items that you steal, like TVs. And if you want to reduce motion sickness while you're driving, you can use a blind effect, which you can select in the menu. And you can have a vertical and horizontal blind. It's not as good as the vignette that they use in Saints and Sinners because I think it blocks too much of your vision, but it does definitely help with motion sickness. If the house owner is at home, then you don't want to be smashing windows to get inside the house. There are two really simple techniques to get them out. Firstly, you can make a lot of noise outside the house, and that will get them outside the house to investigate the noise. And secondly, and this is my favourite, is you can literally ring the doorbell. Ring the doorbell, hide, and then they'll come out looking for you, and then when they come out they usually leave the door open and just sneak in the house. Remember to use your watch because it has a version of the map on there so you know exactly where you're going and you just follow the diamond shape. And it also shows you when you're in visual range of the homeowners. So just avoid those yellow areas and then the homeowners won't see you. You want to avoid things that draw attention to yourself so that the homeowners don't see you and then call the police. The flashlight and the crowbar also draw attention, so make sure the flashlight's turned off when you're not using it, and the crowbar when you're walking around the streets is stored in your holster. And when you park your car, make sure you park it properly and not right up on the pavement, as it may be reported to the police. When you hear sirens, run for the shadows, switch your flashlight off or hide somewhere else. Inside you can hide in beds and wardrobes, and outside you can hide in the rubbish bins. Some tools like the lock picking kit you can't buy until you're ready to learn that skill. So when you've passed enough missions, it will prompt you to look at your iPad and tell you what skill you can learn next. You can then buy the necessary kit and then practice learning that skill. So here are some tips for the lock picking, which at first you will find pretty tricky. Don't touch the screwdriver at first. Slowly move the lock pick in with your right hand until the pick drops in the lock. And then grab the screwdriver and squeeze the trigger and turn it slightly. And the next bit is the fiddly bit because the lock pick in your right hand seems to move way too quickly when you're moving it clockwise and anti-clockwise. So physically bring your right hand with the controller in it closer to your body, and this way you'll find the movements are less sensitive. Get familiar with your computer in your hideout. This is where you can buy new tools, you can sell your loot on Black Bay, and you can get insider tips on houses you want to rob. And this is also where you can check out Rent a Thief, which are bonus tasks to earn money in between missions. I've only scratched the surface here, but if you found these tips useful or if you've got any to add, please put a comment below. And if you've enjoyed the gameplay and the mechanics in Thief Simulator, then you'll want to check out Green How VR next. My name's Rich, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.